edition of Between the Posts from the beautiful Settlers Hotel.
Cheers, Tommy.
Oh, yes. Got your little mochaccino there, have you, mate?
Yes, got my baby drink.
Jackie boy, it is great to have you back. How you been?
Yeah, very well. Went to the World Cup, actually, TJ.
Yes,
Got out of this
and
terrible weather.
What does that tell us? Where does your subscription money go?
To the World Cup, mate. I don't know what you're trying to say there.
No, just jokes, bit of banter. Hopefully, I thought it was funny. Where were you yesterday, mate?
I was at Athelston versus Payneham, and it was a bloodbath, which probably everyone expected.
No, good.
Yes.
So obviously you're here today to do what?
I'm here to hang out with you, Tommy, because I love you, and I love hanging out with Jack as well. But I'm talking about Division 4. We've got What Caught Our Eye, Division 1 wrap as well, TJ, and then all of our other usual segments, and we also have a special segment as well.
Yeah, we sure do. We've got a Belinda Payne from Tea Tree Gully, who minor premier in Division 1. Nice place to be.
Hell yeah.
And of course, you'll be selecting the Farmers League Coach of the Week in Division 4.
Stay tuned for that one.
Yes, we've got a huge show coming up, so we're going to get cracking. We'll be right back with more Between the Posts. Welcome back to Between the Posts. I'm so happy because I'm joined by my mate Jackie boy.
What's going on?
Back. Jack is back, the man, with the BTR Excavations Division 1 report with Tommy Javor and Jack. Round 14, really interesting one. I thought it'd be a bit closer. 9 teams had the ability to change position on the ladder in this game, in this round, and there were some fluctuations.
There was.
Only one close game though. The other 4, a total margin of about 360 points. So. And let's get on to it straight away, Jack, starting with the Stream team. It was 3rd versus 4th. It was huge. Both teams 9 and 4. Golden Grove 15-16, 106. Ross Trevor 7-6, 48. Pasco and Cavallaro with 4. While the Pony Horskins kicked 2 for Ross Trevor. Sandford by, so Wakeland played. He and Boxer both kicked 2. They won all 4 quarters, Golden Grove. They're back.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They led by 26 points at quarter time, added on a point at half time, and then ran out convincing winners, 50 at 3/4 time and 58 points. For Ross Trevor, yeah, I mean, you touched on Golden Grove that they are back, but I think for Ross Trevor, the big story here is that their woes are continuing. 3 losses in a row. Prior to that, they had been winning ugly. They had Wakeland yesterday, but after kicking 6 goals on Sandford debut, I mean, you're probably expecting him to go straight back into the Port Adelaide Sandford lineup, and they're missing a few other key players as well.
Yeah, some to come back from Europe, which will absolutely help. But it was the ruck dominance that meant there was a midfield dominance when you've got Pittman and Co and Shenton in the midfield dominating. It means that your forward entries are clean. These are all commentators' notes. And just too good, too much good juice. Despite the fact that it was a pig pen in the middle, but who loves a pig pen? The pig dog Jake Pittman. Let's get a photo up. Here's Pitty after the game.
That was a classic photo. I did
not
see
bad,
that
is
online.
it? But they were all very good, and it all started with Mabola Jack. You have to be able to bit of ruck time, kick 4 goals. It's an incredible game by him and a great 4-quarter display.
Yeah, certainly. We'll just give a massive shout out as well off the top as well to Nick Collins after Ross Trevor kicked the first goal. After a couple of minutes, about 30 seconds later, he went down with a very serious knee injury. I think he's in surgery as we speak, actually getting that sorted out. But he's done for the year. Massive cog in their engine is now gone. So yeah, massive shout out to you, Colo. It's a very serious injury, and we know you'll come back bigger and stronger, and the GG boyos will get around you, big fella.
Yeah, it's not good. Never want to see anyone get injured, especially long term. Better players that don't make the votes: the Panther, Cam Shenton, Alam Simon, Max Koslick. For Ross Trevor, their best was Darcy best. Kemp, Baldwin and Mead all tried hard, mate. But give us the 3-2-1 Player of the Year votes, please.
Oh, yes. 1 vote to Jakey Pittman, 2 votes to Cavallaro. Just comes back in, taking the absolute PI55 with 4 goals. And Mabil A. Jack, we spoke about his ruck dominance, 3 votes for him.
Yeah, again, we're not a sample show, but you think probably Cavallaro goes back into Port as well next week. Yeah. Oh, I hope. And Shenton now, North Adelaide with only Saturday games for the rest of the year, won't be back to a final. So we'll see how that plays out. The next one, we're just going to skim over. Seven.
No, please, let's go into great detail on it.
Fifth place Glenunga on 7.5 wins. Took on, at that time, first place Salisbury North on 10 wins. And Glenunga absolutely went cocoa bananas. Glenunga 18-15, 123. Salisbury North 5-9, 39. The story of the day was that man, he was pretty happy with his own work, and rightly so. The cockroach, Nick Wunke, with 11 goals. He was amazing. He couldn't miss. His hands are unbelievable. I actually talked with him before the game. I said, you're in career best. I've been saying it on the show. He goes, yeah, I can't kick goals. I kick points. I kick more points than goals. And good for him. He straightened up yesterday. I think it was 11-1. Smith kicked 2. Gazza Coleman tried hard for Salisbury North and held out. They both kicked 2. But this was the Glenunga I've been expecting to see all year. It's unfortunate for Salisbury North. At home, their contested footy was sublime. I don't need to read the commentators' notes to say they were just too good, and it all clicked.
Yeah, exactly right. Pretty much that's what the commentators' notes say as well. Well executed Glenunga game of footy. Their big pack marks from all their tools that they have scattered all over the ground, and with plenty of clean inside 50 entries as well. And TJ, we also have a Cootsies call from Dan Thompson, quarter 2, a brilliant check side as well. Take a look at this one.
Off of it, it's only going as far as Thompson sold a little bit of candy and put it through. Gee whiz, that is a superb goal.
TJ, I know you'll play this down. No excuses in Division 1, but there was some big outs yesterday, and it just goes to show when you don't have your absolute best out there on the park, it makes it extremely difficult to compete with the very best in Division 1. What are your thoughts?
Oh, look, probably, you're missing 3 or 4 midfielders. We had 21 out there, so no excuse. Everyone's got injuries all the time.
They do, yeah.
And you can't take any credit away. I don't like the bold calls. I'll make a bold call. Glenunga won't lose another home game this year. The way they played the game, it reminded me a lot of the game where they beat Port District by 80, similar margin in a second semi.
Final, yeah.
No, it was a second semi to go into the grand final. So I knew pretty early that this was their day, and footy's important. I love footy. You know, behind family and health, it's the third most. Well, it is my work. Third most important thing, but I want to give a big shout out to Nathan Grimer, who was in hospital. We talked on Friday night. He said he wasn't going to be there. He's had a staph infection, so he's had 2 surgeries since. So just like footy doesn't matter when it comes to health. I actually had a chance to speak to him after the game and was happy for him that they won. Obviously not happy for myself, but while he's sitting there in his hospital bed, get well for Jacinta and the kids' sake, but also for everyone's sake. All of the Adelaide Footy League wants to see you get through. Yeah, what's a horrible situation for you right now, mate?
Yeah, certainly we want to see you back out there patrolling the sidelines, barking at us commentators in the booth and barking at the umpires, barking at everyone. Yep. We love your passion on the sidelines, Nani, so get well.
They played for him yesterday, and it showed.
Yeah, they do. TJ, just before we wrap this one up, I want to shout out Jack Howard for Salisbury North on debut. Young fella. Kicked the goal on debut as well. So well done to you, mate. Been toiling away in the twos, playing some good footy, and got your reward. So
before we do the votes, mate, just a couple of quick ones. Some guys that certainly tried hard, but it's not your day. It's not your day. Dom Costanzo coming off 40 and 45 the 2 weeks before was best for Salisbury North. Joey Brown did well on Michael McMahon, which is a feather in his cap. Cooper Wilson had some good energy. O'Brien and Hocking battled away, but for Glenunga, those that don't make the votes, they were all good. You could mention them all. Dan Thompson, Abe Davis, Rocky Butterworth, they all played a part. But you better give us the votes and I'll tell you a little bit about each one, mate, because they were fantastic, these 3.
The tunerman, Geordie West.
He could have been best on ground, except Roach kicked 11. He dominated in the midfield, and their midfield were able to set up and know exactly what was going to happen when you've got that kind of ruck dominance.
Zachy Smith, 2 votes. I'm assuming he took 10, 12 intercept marks. That's what he does. He's an absolute rock back there.
Yeah, look, held out to his credit, kick 2, so he found some moments, but Zach Smith was just unstoppable. The best defender on the day by a country mile.
And the Wunke walloping, 3 votes for Nick Wunke.
Yes, kicking 11. I believe he's still out there on the oval telling the kids about it now. I've never seen him. They're doing a colour run post-game with the kids, and he was there tipping the colours. Old Roach. Good on him, mate. It's winners are grinners and losers can please themselves, they say. So hopefully, like Port, they bounce back. Salisbury North, everyone gets a bad one, and that was bad. So we move on. But we'll go to your game next. I'm more excited about this one. And now I've just seen the score. PNU 4-7-31, all single goal kickers. The Raggies 19-8, 122. Russell with 4, O'Brien and Clinton with 3, Carlin Santillo with 2, and Nick Parashakis with 2. It looked close. At quarter time it was 4 points of difference, and I thought it might be a close game, but 17 goals to 3 after quarter time. How did the game play out?
Yeah, I think it was just a very professional performance from Athelston. Knew when to take the sting out of it when Payneham tried to get their way into the game. They were so damaging from turnover. Their transition footy was on display, and they also scored quite a few goals from stoppage as well, and that's been one of their strengths this year. They've just got so many strings. Matty Knight's got so many strings that he can pull with so many of the versatile players that he's got. Like Mitch Grigg come into the team, and last couple of weeks with him out of the team, they've had Stewart roll up the ground, and then he can just float back to half back and architect everything. From the back half, you got Lodovici, the Santillos. They rested Lukey Randa. He went off on a holiday to Bali over the weekend, Lukey Randa. So there's a couple of other players to come into that team as well. But from a Payneham perspective, I do want to touch on Payneham because it wasn't for the lack of trying. It was my first time seeing them in the flesh this year. There's a clear way of how they're trying to play with a bit of a handball game and a bit of a run and gun game. Unfortunately, with just all the youth that they've got in the team, there's not that cohesion that they would be after. But there's a good young group there. I think said on the call a couple of times yesterday that there was only 3 playing yesterday over the age of 25, and there was like 8 teenagers or something like that. So if they can keep them all together, we know that they're going down to Div 2. We've seen how Broadie's responded this year in Division 2. So if they can just add a couple of top-end talent to that team for next year, there's definitely some hope. And the more games they get into these young guys, the better.
Yeah, they've played some good ball. That obviously wasn't a good 3 quarters, but their best is very good. But unfortunately, they struggle to bring it because of the young bodies. Let's have a look at the better players who don't get in the votes, and I'll do the votes. For Athelston, Kane Nerton, O'Brien and Mitch Grigg, some handy ones there. For PNU, Hockley, Scridgemore, Maunder is having a great year. And interesting, Matty Devo has been in a real rich vein of form. But the votes, quick comment on these, please. Chris Ludovici with 1 vote.
Yeah, just racked up the pill as he pleased off mid and playing a bit of halfback as well.
Ran into this guy on Friday and he was excited for the game. Zayton Santillo, 2 votes.
Again, rack the ball at will.
Good user
He's
too.
so clean. Yeah, great user, head in and under, but then has power to escape from the stoppage as well.
Yep. And Zach Clinton.
He kicked 3 goals, didn't get in the best players for Matty Knight, but I thought he was sensational, and seeing him in the flesh the last couple of weeks, he's got a big leap, but also his around the ground stuff. He kicked a couple of goals last week as well, so that's 5 in the last couple for him. He's damaging on the scoreboard as well.
Doing well. We expected Port to bounce back, and they did. Second place Port, 9.5 wins. Tea Tree Gully, they needed a scalp, 6.5 wins. It was Port District 24-13, 157. Tea Tree Gully 7-6, 48. Hyde and Olsen with a brace for Tea Tree Gully, but some big goal scorers.
My man.
For the district, yeah.
My man.
Jack Banwell
He's coming.
Footy Factory. Shep kicked 7, Tom Gray 5, Nisco 3, Dwyer 3, Lysette and Rose 2 apiece. It was interesting, in the 3rd quarter, it was 16 points the difference. And then from that point on, I'm not sure what part of the 3rd quarter, probably halfway through, 16-8 to 2 goals. Port District just decided, foot on the throat time, with some elite ball movement and just absolutely torched the goals.
Yeah, I've got that here. 3 minutes 48 in the 3rd quarter. Tea Tree Gully kicked the first 2 of the second half, and you think there's some momentum here to try and get back into the game. It was 30 points at halftime, and then Port District just felt like playing footy, I think.
Yep.
And Tea Tree Gully's next score was at the 16.5-minute mark of the 4th quarter, and the margin went from 17 points to 102 in 45 minutes of football.
Interesting, first time Port have been top this year, so just starting to peak at the right time, you'd suggest. Had their down game. Last week to this week, 179-point turnaround. They're the one club that seemed to be able to do that. They did over 100-point turnaround to win a flag, and yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna. I noticed that as well, and I just think, just when you think you can underestimate this team or take them lightly or think they might be taking their foot off the gas, they just turn it on the following week, and there's so many examples here. So at the start of the year, they had a slow start, then they go out and smash Ross Trevor by 70. They lose to Athelston at home by 8 goals or whatever it was. They smash Payneham the next week. Close match with Glenunga earlier in the year. They go out and smash Sacred Heart the next week. And there's examples of it a couple of years ago, that second semi like you're talking about. And even last year, they lost in round 18. And then first week of finals in the qualifying final against Golden Grove, they dominate that one from start to finish. So they just know when to turn it on. They know when they need to play their best, and they can execute.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Better players for Tea Tree Gully that don't make the votes. Will Cansdell, Verrill, Hyde, Olsen and Persinos all battled hard. While support, how's this for a list of players that don't get in the votes? Reasonably handy. Scott Lysette, Stevie Summerton, Sam Gray. What's that, 1,000 games of AFL and SANFL experience between them? And Bugsy Niskahu's also very good. But 3-2-1 time.
Before 3-2-1, I want to give a shout out as well
Okay.
to Zach Rose. With the Lyset injury/holiday, I think it's been a blessing for Rama because they've unearthed a ready-made replacement in Zach Rose, 4-game purple patch. A few weeks, going back a month or so, where he was in the best players 3 times as well. So just when teams thought that they had it easy or easier against Port with no Scott Lyset, they had this big bustling young man in the ruck and kicking some goals as well. But onto the votes. Tommy Gray kicked 5. He has 1 vote. Gav Shepherd with 7, kicks 2. Probably stiff, I reckon, not to get the 3. Just quietly. Not sure what Tommy Dawes doing on calls there. But anyway, and Tommy Carter with 3 votes. I haven't seen his name much this year. Not sure if he's been injured or on holiday. But straight back into the team and getting 3 votes. Tommy Carter.
Obviously a very good game. And our last game of the round was actually it was a cracker. I watched
Saved
this,
the best till last, haven't we?
Yes, so we have. I watched it all day, checked the scores all day, and it seemed to fluctuate quite heavily. It was 9th place Shock hosting 8th place Spock, both on 3.5 wins, and it was 10-10-70 to 11-14-80. The margins, Sacred Heart led by 10 at both quarter and half time, St. Peter's by 4 points at 3/4 time, and winning by 10 points. On debut, Joe Chickwidden, son of my old boss.
How's that for a name? I don't mind that name.
Nick Chickwidden, his old man, was former Glenelg captain, best and fairest winner. And Al Colotto, they both kicked 3. Whilst the Michaels brothers, Nick and Zach, both kicked 2, along with De Cesare for St. Peter's. Jackie boy, give us your thoughts.
Yes, commentators' notes here, great notes from Nathan. Seesaw and contest all day. Spock hit the front late in the game and ran away with it. But take you through a bit of the timeline of the game. The Shocks kicked 4 in a row early, TJ led by as much as 22, and then St. Peter's responded with 4 in a row of their own. And then it was goal for goal for the next 6 goals of the game. They were absolutely trading blows. Sacred Heart were in front early on midway through the 4th quarter, and then Spockos found another gear, kicked the last 3 to seal the game. And not sure if you've seen the video on their socials, but gee, they were pumped up, especially the skipper Ed Allen as they went inside the change rooms to sing the song yesterday.
Yeah, no, they had to answer at half time. They did 3-5 to 1-3 in the 3rd quarter. Was an excellent display, and they're back on the winners list, mate.
Yes,
Better
been a
players.
while.
I'm getting the wind up. We've gone 20 already. Better players that don't make the vote: Snowy McRae, Colotto, Jack Kelton, Walkington, and Oates for Sacred Heart. Also, Spock, Ted Newman, and Zach Michaels were very good. Votes, please.
Henry Lilligan with 1 vote, Malachi Carruthers with 2, to be overshadowed by his brother Fergus with 3 votes.
We're just going to flash the ladder up, and we've mentioned it and referenced it already. There's a significant battle. I'd say realistically now, I think we're down to 6. Athelston are coming. They're coming hard in 6th place. 7.5 wins, which is now the most wins they've had in Div 1, so congratulations to the club. They'll need to take a scout this week. We'll see how that plays out. Player of the Year votes time. We're just going to do the top 10 will appear, but in equal 4th, we've got Abe Davis and Ethan Smith. 3rd place, Joey Haynes, did not poll on the weekend. 2nd place, Xavier Transfer, didn't poll, and Bob Russo didn't play on 19 votes. So, yes, I'd say there mathematically, I think the only... there's guys on 8 votes. Don't talk mathematics.
I know we're getting the wind up.
Yep.
Can I ask you one question before we go to the round 15 fixtures?
No. Here,
Okay.
right, go on. Yeah.
Who slides out if Athelston make the 5?
Ross Trevor.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep. Not saying they will, but if Athelston do find a way to get in,
Yes.
someone's got to go. I hope it's not Salisbury North.
Gee, that would be
Shut up.
that'd be monumental if that happened from where they are now. Anyway.
Round 15, just quick tips.
Yes.
Jackie's getting upset. Last time they met, it was Ross Trevor by 30 points away from home. This time they're at home hosting St. Peter's.
Ross Trevor should bounce back here and get the win, I think.
Yep. Probably game of the round, 2nd versus 3rd. Salisbury North versus Golden Grove. Last time it was Golden Grove by 31 points in a game that yielded 37 goals.
Yeah, both teams kicked 100 points in that game. They love a shootout, these 2 teams. I think Golden Grove on the big oval, I think it'll suit them even though it is away from home. I think they can get an upset.
My tipping came back to form last week, so I'm going to tip Salisbury North in this one. If they don't bounce back, then it's trouble signs. So it's one of those things they have to win. In round 6, they had a draw, but now Tea Tree Gully host Glenunga. Tea Tree Gully just simply have to win if they want to play finals.
Glenunga.
Yep, I think Glenunga as well. Big Oval will test them. Athelston will be absolutely cheering for Tea Tree Gully. But
They will be, yeah.
we'll see. First time round, Athelston torched Port by 51 points at Port. So you'd assume they'd win at home against Port District, wouldn't you?
Look, I'm going to tip them, but yeah, it's going to be tight. It's definitely not going to be 51 points, I don't think.
You're tipping Athelston over Port District?
Seeing Athelston in the flesh last 2 weeks, I've been very, very impressed, and I think they can cause another upset.
Wow. I'll take Port District. I just can't tip against them. They're too good. Wow. That would be huge. If they do that, they're playing finals for mine. And PNU and Sacred Heart, first time around it was 114 points. It will be a lot closer this time.
Looking at Paynham's last 4 games, this is the only one that they have a sniff of a chance to win. Hopefully they turn up. It's Ladies' Day as well at Paynham next weekend, so hopefully they turn it on. I'm going to tip them. But yeah, they're probably not going to, but I'm going to tip them.
Oh, that's nice, yeah. I'll take Sacred Heart. Who desperately, they have to win this. And,
they do, yes.
And percentage is crucial as well, so they need to win and get the foot in the throat to avoid relegation.
Yeah, because they're 1.2 behind St. Peter's now.
Yes.
So,
yes,
yep.
Huge game. Every game's got ramifications. Thanks for joining us on the BTR Excavations Division 1 report. We'll be back next week with more Between the Posts. Between the Post fans, it's time for the High Flyers. It's Mark of the Week time. Thanks to Bianco and Born to Build. Last week it was that man from the Cats, Caleb Koenig, with a great mark. Whether you're an A grader, a B grader or a C grader, if you see it and send it, we'll put it on the show if it's one of the best marks, and then you can just vote with the corresponding emoji. It's time for What Caught Our Eye, thanks to Sam Doman and Co. All right, Jackie boy, we're going to start in Div 7. It's an exciting time. I found a whole bunch of stuff that caught my eye at 6:30 this morning. What caught your eye in Div 7, mate?
Adelaide Lutherans, it's theirs to lose this season. 2 weeks ago, they smashed second place Century United. They finished the season 4 games clear on top of the ladder, TJ.
Yeah, absolutely right. We don't talk about betting, but it'd be about $1.10 at the moment.
I think so, yep.
Well, they won my game, and they took care of, before the game, it was Luthies in first, Brahma in third. Could they challenge them? No, they couldn't. 16-8, 104, Brahma 6-5, 41. Riley Granderson was best for Brahma. Whilst for Luthies, it's still a very good spread. Max Tammy was best on ground, kicked 3 goals, and Pellenstov with 4. One other thing as well, big shout out. I thought their season was done and dusted, and probably not going to play finals, but well done West Croydon. Really good 29-point upset win over Century United, which again just increases your point that Lutheran are far and away the best team.
Yep.
Max Muller and Rick McRae were the stars for the Hawks. So well done to the Hawkers, celebrating down there on Hanson Road. Well done, mate.
At Falk Reserve, I think it is.
Yes, what the fork.
Yes, what the
All
fork.
right. Okay, Div 6.
Houghton, they missed an opportunity to go third, going down to Para Hills. So Houghton stay in fourth, and Para Hills are now 2 games clear in third. Para Hills getting the win in that matchup yesterday. Yeah,
obviously I look for a game of the round, and then I do what caught my eye, and we're on the same wavelength here, because the winner sits in the top 3 in that very game. They're playing for third spot. In round 5, Houghton won by 29 points. Could they do it again? Could they prove they're a top 3 team? Not quite, as you mentioned. Mason Pitt and Steph Rager were the stars. Whilst Jake Martin, he's having a real good season. He kicked another 4 goals. And that was really the only game we could talk about in a sense of being a good contest, because Gazer by 109, Elizabeth by 108, OSB in a by 73 over Rosewater. And let's get the ladder up just quickly, Jack, because this is really interesting. One win between 4th and 8th, of course, 8th being second to bottom. So still plenty of light in the tunnel for all teams in Div 6.
Feels similar to Division 7 as well. It feels like it's Gazer versus the field in that one as well. In Division 6, they are smashing everyone.
I'd suggest that Elizabeth would have a lot to say about that come finals time, whereas I'm happy to bet your house on Luthies. So
I actually do have a house now, actually.
Excellent, that's excellent.
No worries. Thanks to Sam Doman and Co.
Sam, what a star. And we talked about one of the clubs he sponsors. But anyway, now Div 5, I've got plenty, mate, so you better go first.
Yeah, I'm assuming you've got this one. First versus second on the ladder match-up yesterday, Green Acres versus Paraka. It was at Paraka, actually, and Paraka went whack. 66-point win, scores 125, plays 59. Green Acres just didn't have the answers, and the Golden Grove B grade, they march on in Division 5.
That's very funny. Yeah, I thought this was it was the top 4 playing each other, 1v2, 3v4, and first time round it was Greenies by 19. Yeah, you've given the score already. It was 7 goals to 1 in the last quarter. Paraka were challenged and they answered. Liam Paulson was the star. Braden Shaw kicked 6. Corey Smith good for Green Acres. McPartland with 4. The other one that interests me was 4th place Smosh.
Yes.
Needed to take the scalp and they did. They beat Salisbury, your old mob.
My old mob.
Yes. So to even up and give themselves a chance at a double chance. 11-11-77 to Salisbury, 9-9-63. Ben Regari best. Alex Hughes with 4, while Stephen Osborne, former Salisbury North boy, was best player. And Ricky Thomas was very good and celebrated a 36th birthday a couple of days
Silver
ago.
Fox.
Yeah, the hell tricky Ricky wanted a shout out. So there you go, Rick. Too bad they didn't get a win for you, but tough titty, said the kitty. They're the 4 teams in the mix, but I just thought it was Greenies all the way, but Paraka have just said, hey, hang on a sec, Javor.
Yes, and we'll get Jack to pull the ladder up as well, which I'm sure he's already done. He's all over it. But that 3rd versus 4th matchup that we speak about, now they're both equal on 18 points, Smosh and Salisbury. Salisbury 2% in front though, so that could be pivotal come finals time. Who gets that the 3rd double chance placing? And
without being disrespectful to bottom place Portland, the damage you do when you play them could be the difference. So it doesn't help them any at all.
No.
4. Your division.
Yes, my division. Make sure you check out the Division 4 wrap. We go through it comprehensively, but
deep dive.
Yes, deep lag. It's Tunwatch and the goal kickers leaderboard with Max Marsland on 83 goals. Has not gone under 4 goals in a game this season.
That is outstanding. Even I think
of Scotch, by the way, he plays for Scotch.
Yes.
They are near the top.
We
of the ladder.
regularly talk
did
about
I say
him.
that or
no?
Oh, sorry.
He kicked 6 and 9 the other week. Second played 5th and 4th played 6th. That's what really caught my eye before the week. And Scotch just showed they are that good. 14-11-95, Hope Valley 10-8-68. Max McKenzie, the star. Dill Jamison, very good for the Demons. Whilst Marion have come from 9th and they've just been staking a spot at a time. They were in 4th before this and they've smoked Mitcham. 127-47. Tim Stewart, 7 goals.
Junk time Timmy, they call him.
Junk time Timmy. Harry Stansborough, normally you say son of a gun. He's son of a man that carries a gun. His dad's a detective, so Harry Stansborough, very good form there.
Really?
Yeah, there you go.
Had a couple of chats with Rusty, he's a great man.
Yeah, 2 detectives this year. I might not be his copper. Anyway, for Mitcham, Hamish Burns deserves a shout out. And Brady Aitken, 3 of 6 is a good effort. The other one that really caught my eye, and this guy deserves his own ticker tape parade. Morphy Parker, 1-point upset win at CBC. They've come from behind and they can thank one man. That man is
incredible.
Jasper Clark, 10 goals out of 13.
Incredible.
The 23-year-old recruited from OSB Lonsdale in Division 7. He's been at Morphy Park for a few years now. Has just announced himself and a few country clubs are going to go,
yeah,
someone that can play here. Well done, Jasper Clark. 10 goals. That is outstanding.
Yeah, and he kicked the last 2 in the last quarter, and I believe the last one was at the 25-minute mark. It was the last score of the game, and it was his goal, so he single-handedly won him the game. Yep, sensational effort.
I was skimming the scores. There wasn't a lot to watch at Glenunga yesterday, so I was skimming scores all day, and it looked like CBC were in full control. So that's a great win by Morphees.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Go to Div 3?
Yeah, all right.
I reckon we'll get the wind up in a second.
No,
we'll get the ladder popped up. Thanks, Jack. One thing I noticed is the tight ladder. So you got Walkerville on top, but the thing that caught my eye was 5th place Plimpton. Their percentage is 3rd in the comp due to the fact they've conceded the least amount of points in Division 3, Tommy.
And those two teams, nice segue, I'm previewing because it was 6th versus 5th. And these away wins in winter are hard. So Edwardstown with 6.5 wins would have been a big show against Plympton with 7 wins. But Edwardstown 5-7-37, Plympton 9-11-65. And it was very, very close. In the last quarter, they went bang, 4 goals forward to just the 1 point. Plympton showed why they're a finals team. On the back of Doug Proud and Rankin Hooper. Logan Hill very good for the Towns, though.
That was after we thought that Plympton maybe might struggle in Division 3 with some players leaving and things like that in the summer, wasn't it, Tommy?
It wasn't big numbers on the track, but they're going to play finals. I'm not sure how deep they go, but any season you play finals, you take that. So, and last but not least, again, we talk about the home ground advantage on wet, wintry July days. Foss Camden in 3rd place, Walkerville in 1st place. Walkerville have looked untouchable, but they were touched. Not sure if you're meant to touch people, but 6-13-49 to 6-8-44. Jack really liked that.
Terrible.
That speaks to the volume of how tight and tough it was. Josh Goldie and Treadwell, both very good. Treadwell kicking 3s, while Jaden Ryan was good for the Cats. Not a foregone conclusion, Div 3, like maybe we thought it could be.
No, and Division 2 as well is not a foregone conclusion,
No,
TJ. It is an extremely tight comp. There's a ladder logjam. It's 1 point separating the middle 4 teams, Brighton and Modbury.
Brighton are hot. They're hot at the moment.
Yes, they are running red hot. They're on 16 points, Broadview and Goodwood on 15 points. And I know you like casting your eye into the future. Modbury take on Brighton this week in round 15, so that's a genuine double chance place decider, that game.
That's one of those I talk about on the slide on the rise. Modbury are just stagnated and Brighton are just coming at everyone. So, yeah, I'd suggest probably Brighton, even though it's away from home. I looked at Broadies and Goodwood. Goodwood, another team, they've left their run late, but they're starting to take scalps. PAC, Broadview, beating top 5 teams. It was at Broadview as well. Broadview 8-3-51, Goodwood 7-15-57. They beat him by 6 points despite having 11 more scoring shots. That's real, that kind of stuff going on for the coach.
Pooper.
Carlson and Ryan with the stars, whilst Joe Hill very good for Broadies, and Costa kicked 3. The other one is, Jad put me on the spot last week, and I didn't mention Henley in the grand final. I should have. I meant to. They were in 1st place, 9.5 wins. Took on 2nd place, Old Iggies. That's a big game. And Henley were too good. Kane Godlewski, the star. It's just who they're going to play. Will they be PAC? Will it be Old Iggies? Who knows? Div 1.
I don't know, who knows?
I don't know.
Division 1. Firstly, love seeing big bags of goals, especially in Division 1. I'll just rub it in one more time. Tommy, in case you forgot, Nick Wunke, the cockroach, kicked 11 for Glenunga, smashing Salisbury North. And the Port District boys filled their boots as well. Shepherd with 7, Tommy Gray with 5. But I'm going to hit you with some statistical analysis here, Tommy. So, for the second week in a row, 4 out of the 5 winners scored 100 points.
Yes.
Okay, we know it's very tough to score 100 points in Division 1. For context, that's happened 3 times now this season out of 14 rounds. It happened only twice in 2025, where 4 out of the 5 teams scored 100 points.
Strange for it to happen in July as well.
We know it's very rare, with some terrible weather yesterday, actually, as well. So, yes, some high scoring, which is always good to see, Tommy.
Yes, unless you're on the receiving end of it.
Yes.
Then it's not so good. And one of those teams that scored 100. This was 3rd versus 4th. Golden Grove and Rocks, both 9-4. And Golden Grove planted the flag. 15-16, Rocks 7-6. Darcy Best was Rocks' best, while Mobila Jack kicked 4. Rocks beautifully, and he won all the media awards and the club awards. He had probably his best game for the club. 4 rounds to go, Jack. Plenty to catch our eye.
Yes.
Everyone wants to play finals. People don't want to get relegated, and people certainly want to get promoted. So we're back next week with more
Between the Posts.
You've seen him around town. He walks with purpose. With only a short introduction, he leaves a lasting impression. This morning, he was a regular guy in a tee. Now, he's fitted with confidence.
It's time for the Peter Shearer Goal of the Week, brought to us by Born to Build. Let's have a look at last week's winner, and it's a story of hope. It's a story of hope for all B graders out there. Your games are being recorded. Let's get some more B grade goals in, because last week's winner's from the B grade. It's Declan Braybrook from the Kookaburras. Jack up that address, Jackie boy. It's that easy. Send it into there. If you see it, you send it any grade, Bs, As, or even a handheld Cs. And now it's time to have a look at this week's 3 goals and vote with the corresponding emoji.
Munster tapped it straight onto his fist. He gets the ball back, Maunder. Goes from long range. Don't tell me that's going through. It's a goal!
Here at the beautifully renovated Settlers Hotel with a Between the Posts exclusive. Welcome to the show, Tea Tree Gully coach Belinda Payne.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And obviously not too hard to come in. When you're sitting top 11 and 3, it's a pretty nice place to be.
Oh, look, it's definitely very exciting. We're extremely proud of where we are. Yep. Certainly probably didn't expect that we would be sitting where we are, if I'm being deadly honest. Especially first time in Div 1.
Yep, I didn't tip you to make the 5. I own that. So it's been a great, almost like a rising like a phoenix from the ashes, Tea Tree Gully, a club that's been so proud. I mean, it's 170 years old. I remember when Lisa first opened the club, Lisa Mann. It's come a long way since then. I always got to get a Lisa jib in. Hey, for those that don't know, just give us a little bit of the pathway, where you started and how you got to Tea Tree Gully.
So I guess my football career started 9 years ago, late, as people would say, for my age. I got dragged out to Payneham.
The Falcons?
Yep, the old Falcons, where we started out in Div 2.
Under Benny Hunt?
Under Ben Hunt, yep. Got absolutely flogged the first year we played.
Yeah, didn't win a game.
No.
I reckon that was I was at Payneham then. Yep.
Yeah, and then the second year we came out and did the polar opposite and we took away the flag. So then moved into Div 1. So I had a couple of years there. My home club's always been Tea Tree Gully. My children have played there, friends, everyone's always played there. So I was always going to go back. I just really wanted that illustrious Div 1 flag before I could go back, but never happened. Morphy was our kryptonite.
They have been many a kryptonite, and interesting to see them down the bottom this year. So
yeah, very much so.
Doing a great job now. Obviously, it's a great chance for us to have a look at Div 1 today, but also, being that I've been around for 30 years, I know everyone at every club. I've got a bit of Belinda Payne. So you're a Swiftie, apparently. Is that right? Taylor Swift fan?
Yes.
And apparently, in any chant, you somehow work Taylor Swift into it.
I do, yeah.
How does that work?
Well, if girls are a bit nervous or whatever, I just pump out. They're really bad, actually. I can't believe some of these things I say to the girls, but I'm a bit corny, so I always just tell the girls to shake it off.
Is that a Taylor Swift song?
It's a Taylor Swift song. So instead of saying shake it off, I actually say just Swift it, girls, and the girls just laugh and go, she's a mum.
Well, mum joke. We could be critical, but you're 11 and 3. Yeah. Tell us about the infamous day where you became friends with a pot plant and went.
Oh gosh, that shouldn't even be here. I'm going to kill the girls or someone at the club for doing this. That was after one of my very, very long-term family friends' daughters, twin daughters, 18th birthday, who both play in the team. I just, ended up having way too much fun, and the pot plant got in the way.
These things can happen. Peripheral vision, as you tip them in, the vision. Anyway.
Yeah.
Jackie boy, great that letter up. We'll have a quick look. Teacher Gully 11-3, Broadies 9-4. Obviously played on the weekend. We'll come back to that. Henley have been very good this year, 8.5. Payneham 8-6. Happy Valley 7.5 wins. With 1 round to go, the top 5 is set. So Anglevale, Morphy Park. I can't believe Morphy Park second to bottom, and Goodies have struggled to adapt to Div 1. But let's have a look at this week's game, please. It was Teacher Gully 6-7-43, Broadies 6-2-38. You led all day, but it was close all day. Just take us through the match itself.
Oh, look, I mean, Broadview are a very talented side. There's a lot of really good quality girls going through that system, and has been for many years.
Yeah, strong North Adelaide connection.
Very much so. And, you know, so they match us sort of everywhere. I think, you know, speed, skills, all those sorts of things. So we knew it was going to be a grind all game. I think we only beat them by 2 points last time in the wet. So, you know, I guess, look, the girls just...
It was at the Gullies?
Yeah, yesterday, yeah. The girls just dug deep. I mean, they've got a really good amount of resilience and fight in them. And, you know, when I ask them to respond, it's good to see that the girls actually do it.
How do they go? I mean, I watched some footage of the game this morning. Very, very muddy in the middle.
Yeah.
Did that affect the play at all?
Definitely. I think, you know, at some point we had to re-strategise what we wanted to do out of the middle.
Yeah.
You know, and... To our advantage, it worked. I'm not going to share any of our secrets here.
No, that's fine.
You know, so we sort of changed things up a bit, but it is pretty foul sometimes in the middle, and yeah, you do have to try and avoid it as much as possible.
Let's have a look. A couple of good goal kickers yesterday. Lily Steen and Taylor Pearson both kicked 2, whilst Katie Gould and Isla Wigzel. I can't read my handwriting. I do this at 6:30 in the morning. We're both very, very good. But one thing that's like, as a team that's sitting top 2 games clear, you're gonna finish top and get the week off. I was really surprised when I did a bit of a deeper dive into the goal kickers and best players. It seems like you've got probably the most even spread.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, your leading goal kickers, Taylor Pearson 17, Laura Mitchell 12, Kaya Jaffa on 11, and then a whole bunch of other girls have contributed at nearly a goal a game as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, look, I mean, there's a lot of talent in the team, and, you know, coming in this year, I knew it was going to be probably be quite interesting to find people to consistently perform week after week. So a lot of the duties are shared around the team. The rotations are shared. And I honestly think that that's been, you know, something that we've really benefited from this year. Yep.
A lot of those girls played under 18s together too, didn't they?
A lot of them, yeah. So we've definitely had a lot of juniors come through, which has been fantastic. But the senior talent that still sticks in the team, I think, is the glue that holds everything together. And you've just got this real talented bunch of young ones coming through that have just fit in really well.
Let's have a look at some of the girls that have been consistently in the best player. I'll just get a comment on each player, maybe their role and how they've been tracking. We'll start with Summer Nelson.
Summer's been a staple in our squad for a good 2, 3, 4 years now. Very talented girl. She's nimble on her feet. You know, she has been out at Centrals for a little while. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to get a game. But you know,
fortunate for you.
Fortunately for us, I mean, their loss is certainly our win in any case. So Summer's very consistent week after week. Sometimes it's hard not to pick her in the best, but it's
All the good, and I want to say good clubs, all of the big clubs that are in Division 1, I'm talking you guys, you know, Golden Grove, Salisbury North, all push their players to the sample because they come back better players as well. And you want them to make it, but if they don't, gee, you're happy to have them, especially in finals.
Very much so.
Shakira Jarvis?
Yeah, so she runs off the back flank. Shaq is she's a tank. Yeah, we call her Shaq. The Shaq attack. You know, she's a tank. She just goes and goes, and I guess her speed through the pack is probably her biggest weapon. So we've just found ways to be able to capitalise on that for her, and yeah, she's very solid back there.
Yep, Astaria Wood.
Yeah, Stasi, we're unfortunately losing her.
Sorry.
Yeah, or Stasi we call her. We're losing her. She's off overseas, so won't be part of our finals campaign. But Stasi's just she's the little pocket rocket. She's pumped up. She's excited. Sometimes we have to tone her back in a little bit, but she brings the vibes to each week. And but she's also equally a very good and deadly player when she's on.
And Indy Nelson's the last one.
Yeah, look, Indy, again, Summer's sister, of course, both related. So, again, part of the Centrals program, has had a couple of games out there. She's she rucks fantastically. And because she's just so tall, she can slot sort of back in that centre half forward spot and also become quite a dangerous goal kicker at times. Yeah, I mean, we're just really lucky. Those 4 that we mentioned are very talented players, have all been part of Centrals, all of them actually, looking at that list. Very glad to have them all sitting in our squad.
Yeah, of course, you've got 1 round to go. I assume the league sets it up that Div 2 down play the grand final the week before Div 1, is that right?
I think so,
So you
yes.
stand alone, which is fantastic. The top 5 is set. Obviously, you're not going to say anything bad about anyone else in the top 5. You're going to get the week off to look at them. Who do you see might be the likely challenger? Or who do you think will play in the first final?
Oh, look, it'll be Broadies, I think, in the first final. They've got a game next week. Everyone else has a full round bye. I don't know how that actually worked. I was actually talking to the Broadies coach
they've
yesterday.
got a standalone game?
Yeah.
Oh, so they have finished.
They play Goodies.
So,
Round 15, and then we hit finals.
So, essentially, apart from that game, the season is over?
Correct.
Okay, so we have our... I just assumed it was a full round.
No,
Silly me. So, essentially, and no disrespect to Goodwood Saints, a wonderful club, good men's win on the weekend. They're bottom. They won't win. So the top 5 going into finals is Teacher Gully. Broadies will play Henley in week 1, home final at Broadies.
Yeah, I don't actually know if we get a week off. I reckon we go straight in.
Yeah,
I reckon it's top 4.
Oh, it's not top 5?
I don't reckon it is. I could be wrong. This is the first
No,
year.
I
This is
mean,
a long time playing Div 1 finals.
How many have you got 8?
Yeah, there's 8.
Well, I can only speak for Division 4 where my girls play, and
Yeah.
we're top 4. So
Okay.
you're probably right, and
Yeah.
I'm wrong. This is why we get the experts on.
No, that's all right.
So you've got Broadies for the shot in the grand final. So you're going to play them 2 times in a row, essentially.
Potentially, yeah. I think, look, the only other outside of that, Henley probably, they've probably dropped off a little bit. I've been a bit surprised with their
as of
results
late,
last couple of weeks.
Yep.
But certainly, look, I think it'll be TTG Broadies. If Henley get in, I think, again, another really fierce side, very physical side.
Yep.
So it could be very interesting.
Yeah, it could be the Belinda Payne Cup. You never know. If you play.
Be
But
nice.
you'd be expecting our good friend Tegan Dunbar, who does the Div 1
Yeah.
report, you'd be expecting Henley to beat PNU at Henley, wouldn't you?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think Henley are the better team. I think PNU started really well early. I don't know what's going on there. I've noticed a couple of their players haven't been in the last couple of weeks, so whether there's some injuries or something happening. But look, I mean, Henley, I think physicality-wise, would probably maybe beat Payneham.
Still some weapons in Payneham though, Chantel Mitchell and big T. Shacklin up forward, so they can do some damage. So and obviously they've had premiership success, as you were
Definitely.
part of.
They have, yes, for sure.
No, it'd be very, very interesting. Okay, before I get on to some more silly ones, anything you want to say to your players? Oh, I'm sure are watching and counting your ums or doing something.
Yeah,
like-
counting ums. Did I say, have I said lots of ums?
No, you haven't.
No,
I
good.
do. But.
Good. And there you go, just leading with one. Classic. So I've just done it again. Now I need to shift into something else. Look, I just want to say to the girls, own it and just enjoy this moment because, as I said, none of us probably anticipated we'd be sitting in the top 4, let alone top. The goals we set at the beginning of the season are starting to become real. So my only advice to them now is to focus on what they really want to achieve in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and how much it actually means to them.
Yeah, God forbid. Worst case scenario is you're going to finish 3rd.
Yep.
Best case scenario is you're going to be drinking from the cup responsibly until the wee hours of the morning, tripping over pot plants. Just a couple. We're all still learning. We're all still developing. Even my 20th year in the media, I'm still trying to get better. But a couple of areas for you to work on. Can be known to sing the wrong song lyrics. Would that be fair to say?
Never. Never. The two songs are very polar opposite, but yeah.
And can get a team sheet wrong. Are we still blaming AI for that?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I have a habit of always leaving something wrong on the team sheet. I'd send it to the girls now to do a little teacher's assessment before I actually post it. But inevitably, there's always someone that's either added on the sheet or not on the sheet, and I get hounded for it. So fair call.
No, beautifully done. Obviously, you've spoken to the players, and obviously, Tea Tree Gully, a hugely proud club. Just to close off, anyone at Tea Tree Gully you'd like to thank or say hello to?
Look, I definitely want to thank my coaching staff. So Aaron Logue, who's also the B grade coach, he sits very closely with me. Ali, who's our strength and conditioning coach. And I've got Jane and Tara, Jane's team manager and Tara's a footy director over there. Superb people that I get to work with and a fantastic club to be part of at the end of the day.
Should have checked this in the pre-run, husband and children?
No husband, but definitely 3 kids, all Tea Tree Gully people. And I know they're pretty proud of Mum and what she's been able to achieve. They're my biggest supporters. So I love you guys too. Thanks, team.
Beautifully done. There's been Belinda Payne from the Tea Tree Gully Football Club. Will she be the Division 1 Premiership coach? Time will tell. Wish you the best of luck, and thanks for watching Between the Posts.
Thanks, Tommy.
And welcome to Between the Post Division 4 wrap. Our analyst is here this week.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jack Banwell.
Yes, thanks, Tommy. Thanks for having me. Can't wait to get stuck into Division 4, the sponsorless Division 4, TJMC for hire.
Hey, very good. Available for your party needs. Here's a super stat, a TJ super stat.
Oh, please hit me with it straight off the
Every
top.
single team had the ability to change position this week. So every game matters. So
Okay.
they all could have gone up or down in a different direction. So interesting. Let's have a look at those results where
Please.
8th place Jeps Cross hosted 9th place Colonel Light Gardens and didn't get the job done. Jeps 9-10-64, Colonel Light Gardens 12-4-76. Caleb Jones best for the Rams, whilst Cooper Schultz was a star for Colonel Light with 7 goals.
Yes, he's kicked 59 total goals for the season. How's this, Tommy? So 14 goals in 3 games in the Cs, 27 in 6 games in the 2s, and then the last 4 games in the A grade, he's kicked 18 goals.
I was going to say, where'd you get that from? Because I don't see that, but that's excellent. That's, that's deep, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And you'd love to see someone come through C's, B's and do well in the A's.
Yeah, I was going through like his sort of year-on-year sort of stats, and he's just played in every grade. Maybe he's one of those guys that sort of plays where he likes. I don't really know.
Plays for fun.
Yeah, plays for fun. But yeah, anyway, I don't have too many more notes on this game apart from Colonel Light led at every change, but it is a very important win for them because they're currently stuck in 9th on the ladder. We'll do a deep dive on the ladder very, very soon, but that's a very important win if they're any chance of staying, surviving in Division 4, TJ. So away from home as well, at Jeps Cross, it's a tough place to go, very hostile at times. So very well done to Colonel Light.
I think it's a lovely place, but they kick straight, and that's what, only 3 less scoring shots to get a win. Outstanding. 2nd place Scotch played 5th place Hope Valley. We talked about this in what caught our eye, but 14-11 for Scotch, Hope Valley 10-8. Dill Jamison was Hope Valley's best, whilst it was the Maxes. Mackenzie best, Marsland with 4.
Yes, 9 individual goal kickers in total for Scotch out of their 14 goals. 4 goals for Max Marsland, as you said. It was a bright start for Hope Valley. They led by 2 points at quarter time. But Scotch, as a good team does at the top of the ladder, they grinded their way into it to lead by 14 at half-time, 19 at three-quarter time, and eventually 27-point winners.
Yeah, I think they probably got under the radar a bit, Scotch. I don't think many people had them in their grand final predictions.
No, I certainly didn't. That's for sure.
They looked there and thereabouts. 3rd place CBC played 7th place Morphy Park, and it was a huge upset. CBC 12-13-85, Morphy Park 13-8-86. They were 18 points down at three-quarter time. Just mentioned Burns again in the best for CBC. Gabrielle kicked 5, but one man deserves his flowers today.
Oh, yeah.
Jasper Clark, 10 of 13. What a display, getting Morphy Park up just the slightest sniff of finals, but moving away from the relegation zone. Huge day for Jasper Clark.
Yeah, I think Morphy's going into the game, we're looking behind them, not so much looking above them because they were in a bit of trouble heading into this round. But they have come from the clouds away from home as well to keep their heads above water. They're now 2 games out of the relegation zone. Inaccuracy, unfortunately, for CBC, 12-13, plays 13-8. But I want to take you through the last quarter here, Tommy. So 18 points was the margin at three-quarter time. CBC, the first 2 scores, they were behinds. And then Morphy
So they're
Park.
up by 20, 18 plus 2.
Yes. Or I'm pretty sure. Anyway, and then Morphy Park kicked their score in the last quarter was 3 goals, 3, and Jasper Clark kicked 2 final quarter goals, including the final score of the game, which was a goal at the 25-minute mark. So it could have well been after the siren. I actually haven't got time to go back and watch that, but I might actually treat myself on Dartfish later on this afternoon, Tommy.
Jasper Clark, you star. Speaking of stars, the young Timmy Stewart, 7 goals for Marion, helped lead them to 19-13, 127. Mitcham, 6-11-47, 80-point wins. Hamish Burns, good for Mitcham Hawks. But that was 4th versus 6th, which just probably tells us that top 5 may be set.
Yes, and I think we're really starting to see the true Marion of 2025
The
coming
Rams
into,
are on the charge.
Yeah, coming
Rams
into the... Yes,
charge.
I get it. Thanks, Tommy. They're certainly flexing their muscle now, that's for sure. Russell with 4 goals. And junk time, Timmy Stewart, he is finding form at the right time as well. He kicked 7. That's his 4th 4-goal haul of the season. He did that 8 times last year in 2025. So Sean Bazan and the crew absolutely humming down there in Marion.
Yes. Pulteney have been pretty disappointing this year, and that continued, but they were hosting top place Hectorville, 10th versus 1st. It actually was only 50 points, 5-4-34, but 10-24-84.
Could have got ugly.
34 scoring shots to 9, you take a 50-point loss. Harry Baker, very good for Pulteney. Nick Hyland, the captain, was named their best, and spoke to him this morning. Very happy with the way they're tracking, and looking forward to a big, hopefully for their sake, a big August and September.
Hectorville had 3-3 as the score at quarter time, Tommy, and went 7-21 in the final 3 quarters. So not sure if they were tough shots or rush behinds.
Pulteney gets heavy. Yeah. It's not an easy ground in winter. So, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately for Pulteney, they just haven't had the year that they would have liked. They've had a big stack of injuries that have just derailed their season. A lot of guys out for the year, but hopefully there's some positive signs for Darcy and the crew down there. Speaking to him during the week, hopefully they get a couple of players back and they can go on a little late season run. But it's going to take an absolute miracle, you would think, for them to avoid relegation at this point in time with only 2 wins on the board, TJ. But there might be a couple of winnable games if they bring their best footy.
Yeah, they won their first game in round 4 and they've won 1 game since, so it's been a tough year. What are we going to go to next, mate? We've got goals, times in best, we've got a ladder, we can deep dive each team. What are we doing?
I reckon we'll just quickly touch on the goal kickers. So we got Max Marsland leading the way with 83, Ewan Fletcher in behind for Hectorville on 39, Connor McAuliffe-McFarlane with 34 from Hope Valley, Maxie Smythe with 32 from Mitcham, and Nathan Richards from Hectorville in 5th place on 32 goals. So you got Scotch in 2nd place at the moment on the ladder, but Hectorville are on top, and they've got a very diverse forward line, as we can see, with a couple of players there in the top 5 for goal kickers, so they're not relying on a one-man show down there, Tommy.
A few others have chimed in as well.
Yes.
For goals. We can look at the best players.
Yeah, we'll quickly touch on that. Morphy Park.
The Wolf Dog.
Yeah, the Wolf Dog. 14 out of 14 for him in the coaches' votes, so well done to him.
You'd expect that from a player that I used to coach.
Yes, yeah, the Tommy Javor.
Perfect season.
Standard for the Tommy Javor Footy Factory.
Interesting. Can he win the medal for a team finishing 7th? He's been the best players every week. He's obviously having a huge season.
Yeah, potentially. Oh, I'm not sure, mate. That's the $64,000 question, as Matty Gale would
umpires
say.
are hard to read. Yeah.
Daniel Mason, 14 games, 12 best players, back to the club this year at Jeps Cross. Benjamin Carabot, 14 games, 10 best players. Brett Moriarty at Morphy Park with 9. Hudson Elkins is having a really, really good year after taking home the BOG in the grand final last year. 9 best players. Maxie Marsland, you'd think if you kick 80 goals, you're going to be in the best players as well with 9. And there's a stack of players on 8 and 7 as well. So there's plenty of talent in Division 4. TJ.
Should we take a drive team by team?
Yes, please. All right, we'll get the ladder up in Division 4. So we're going to kick it off at the top with Hectorville. They're on top with 23 points. Their percentage is 9 points better than anyone else in the comp. 11 wins, 2 losses and a draw. That draw was against Hope Valley earlier on in the year. They have the number 1 offence, the number 1 defence. They've done the double over Marion, so that's a little flag if they meet in the finals. Hopefully Marion, if that does happen, can produce a bit better of a performance, but we'll take a look at their run home as well, TJ, for Hectorville. They play 3 teams out of the 5 in the remaining 4 games, so it's a favourable run home, and you'd think they'd solidify top spot.
Yeah, they'll get the week off. If you're watching this show, you probably already know their coach this week. Phil Nagel was one coach of the week, the Farmers Leap coach of the week.
Yeah.
So well coached, well structured, even spread. They go into the finals as favourites for the flag.
2nd place, Scotch, with 22 points, 11 wins, 3 losses. They have the number 2 offence in the league and the 3rd best defence for points conceded. 9 wins in a row for Scotch. They are absolutely humming, and with not a lot of mail that we could find on them in the pre-season, we certainly didn't expect this one, did we?
No, I'm just looking back to round 4 where they were level with Heckies at 3/4 time, but conceded 5-5 to a point in the last quarter. That was a bit of a wake-up call for them. Full credit to them, coming off only 2 wins last year in Div 3. This is a great response from Scotch, and they'll have premiership ambitions.
They will, led by Maxie Marsland, of course, with the 83 goals. After round 5, Scotch, they were sort of they were struggling a little bit, but obviously very early on in the season, it's not doomsday scenario, but they only had 2 wins on the board and the 3 losses. Those losses were to Marion, Hectorville and Hope Valley, and they haven't lost since, winning 9 in a row. So very well done for Scotch and their last final 4 games. They also play 3 sides who are out of finals placings at the moment. So a favourable run home and a top 2 or a top 3 spot is beckoning for them.
Yeah, no, doing well. Next one's interesting because if we go back to round, they were 1 and 2, and they started the season very, very shaky. Old boys Marion.
Yeah, they did. They're hitting their straps at the right time. 3 wins in a row for them. They've actually got the 2nd best defence in Division 4. Their losses, excuse me, have come against Scotch, Hope Valley, and as we touched on earlier, they've lost twice to Hectorville. They've won 3 in a row, they're finding form at the right time. They've got a couple of interesting matchups on the run home, Tommy. So they play 3 teams out of the 5. So you're looking at that on paper and you think that that is very favourable. One of those, the top 5 team that they play is CBC away in round 16, who are in 4th, which we'll touch on very, very soon. That's a 3rd spot decider. And I'm just going to flag the round 18 clash against Pulteney. Pulteney have been struggling, but if results go Pulteney's way, if they can jag a couple of wins, they could have everything to play for to stay up as well if we're forecasting 4 weeks into the future. So that could be an absolute grudge match. Of course, both these teams coming up from Division 5. They know how to play against each other. And there's a little bit of a rivalry between them because there was some bit of trash talk going into the grand final last year that Marion thought they were a bit too slow and things like that. A bit of trash talk before the grand final. So Pulteney won't give it to them easy, that's for sure, in the last game of the season.
I think there's a bit of cockeyed optimism on that. I think Pulteney will be all but gone, but I agree, round 18, they will throw the world at them. So, yeah, big challenge there.
CBC in 4th. They let one slip yesterday, as we touched on. They stay in 4th. If they won that, they would have been in 3rd, but now they're equal with Marion. They have the 3rd best offence. In round 10, they had a very good win against Hectorville. Their losses, they lost in round 1 to Hectorville at the start of the year. They lost to Marion and Scotch, but they've beaten Hope Valley twice. So they've lost to the teams above them, but beaten all the teams below them. To finish the season, they have Pulteney this week, Marion and Scotch in a little 2-week stretch. So they'll play finals, just it's a matter of if they will secure the double chance or not, and they finish with Jeps Cross.
Yeah, look, their future's in their hands. They find some form, they get a double chance. If they don't, they're in an elimination final.
And they were a team that I was expecting to be sort of there or thereabouts this year with obviously the 2 best teams going up out of the comp last year. But they were actually in a lot of games last year in Division 4, just couldn't run out games strongly. So it looks like they're doing that now. And just before we touch on the chasing pack, the top 4 teams, they have remarkably tighter defences than the chasing pack. So Heckies average 49 points conceded, Marion 58, Scotch 65, CBC 70, and then Hope Valley in 5th spot have 80 points per game conceded. So it's 10 points more than CBC, and then the rest are conceding pretty heavily. But we'll touch on Hope Valley in 5th. They are major sliders. So they had an excellent first half of the season, Tommy. At the halfway mark.
They were 4-1 after 5 rounds, I know that much.
Yeah, at the halfway mark, they were 7 wins, 1 draw. That was against Hectorville, and 1 loss. They beat
so they haven't won since?
No, they haven't, yeah. Beating Scotch and Marion in that first half of the season. They've lost 5 in a row. And a little flag on their defence. In the first 9 rounds, they hadn't conceded 80 points in a game. And in this losing stretch, all 5 games, they have conceded 80 plus.
And it gets no easier this week against the Hounds.
Yes, they have a pretty tough run to finish. I think they play Hectorville, Pulteney, Mitcham won't be a tough game, and Colonel Light to finish. They will have everything to play for as well. So you're looking at it on paper, it might be favourable, but it won't be. They won't have it all their own way, is what I'm trying to say. But if their early season form can recapture that, then they should have no troubles in securing 5th.
Yeah, I think they'll play finals, but to get to the Holy Grail, they're going to have to win 4 games away from home or on neutral grounds.
Yep. 6th place, Mitcham. They were actually my grand final tip. They were the chasing pack from the 2 teams that went up last year in 3rd spot. They've been very underwhelming. They're struggling to score. They've only kicked over 80 points 3 times this season. They've beaten the sides below them, lost to those above them. So this is a true reflection of where they are. Yeah,
they started the season reasonably well. They were, I think they were 3-1 after 4 rounds, so they certainly haven't fired too many shots since in the last 10 weeks.
No, they haven't. They You look, they're 3 games out of the relegation zone. You'd think they're safe, but they're not mathematically safe yet. If they get the job done against Jeps Cross, then they will be safe, and then they have a tough 3 weeks to finish out the season. I don't see them causing upsets and sneaking into the finals. In 7th, Morphy Parks. They have had an absolute roller coaster year. They've beaten CBC and they've beaten Hope Valley, but they've lost to Mitcham twice. They've dropped games against Pulteney and Colonel Light, who are also in the relegation zone, and they have a very tough Final 4 to finish off the year.
Yeah, their best is very good. And it'll be very interesting to see how they respond this week against Marion at home. Local rivals, I'd say there'd be a bit of spice in that one. We'll see how they go.
Yes, and then they go to Jeps Cross in round 16, Hectorville and Scotch to finish off. I think they'll be safe due to Colonel Light's tough run home, which we'll touch on. But if they want to take destiny out of others' hands, they'll go to Jeps and ensure survival.
Yeah.
8th place, Jeps Cross, another underwhelming season from their point of view. They had a fair few ins in the off season, and I think they were hoping to be a bit higher up on the ladder, but they've only claimed the 1 scalp against Hope Valley. Lost both times to Colonel Light as well, so they've dropped a couple, and they're just keeping their head above water.
Yeah, they a couple of narrow losses along the way, and one real bad performance a couple of weeks ago. It's disappointing. The loss of Don Barry's been big. He's been their chief playmaker over the last few years, and they'll avoid relegation, but probably not the best year for the club.
Yep, Mitcham and Morphy Park in their next 2. One of those is winnable. If they get one win in their Final 4, it'll be enough to stay up for them. Now, in 9th place, we're into the relegation zone now, Colonel Light Gardens. I flagged in pre-season that it might be a bit of a trying year with some player turnover. Probably didn't expect them to be this far down the ladder. We know they're a very proud club, and they're normally there or thereabouts in the finals placings. But there's a bit of optimism here because they're 1 game behind Jeps Cross, but they have a better percentage than Jeps Cross, and that could be crucial come the very, very end of the year, Tommy.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's an interesting watch. Can I just have a quick look at that one? Where is that percentage? That is, yeah, it's 0.8 pretty much. So it could be a very, very close finish. It might come down to round 18.
Yeah, it will. They've had wins against Jeps Cross and Morphy Park. They've also had 3 losses by single digits as well. So when those don't go against you, it does make things very, very tough to build momentum. They play Scotch, Heckies, Pulteney and Hope Valley to finish the year. You'd think they need 2 wins to jump above Jeps Cross. And looking just on ladder positions, Pulteney are bottom and then the others are in the 5. So it's a very tough year to finish, run to finish the year for Colonel Light. And last one, Pulteney on the bottom of the ladder in Division 4. 2 wins, 12 losses. They have, they're 10th for offence, 10th for defence. So just things have not clicked this year with injuries derailing their season. It's going to take a miracle to survive, let's be honest here, Tommy. Their wins against Colonel Light and Morphy Park. First 5 out of 6 games, they conceded 100 points. They haven't conceded 100 points since. So they've been hard to play against, but they just can't score themselves.
Yeah, Pulteney have got the Blues, pardon the pun, and if they're going to survive, if they're going to survive, they've got to beat CBC coming off well, they'd be disappointed that they let last week slip. So, yeah, Pulteney, a team I expect to do big things, and they've had a really good run as of late, but this year just hasn't been their year, and they won't care that I got it wrong. They'll care more that they've got it wrong.
Yeah, so, no, their last 4 games, CBC, Hope Valley, Colonel Light and Marion. So 3 teams inside the finals placings and who are in pretty good form. So they're going to find it tough to jump out of the relegation zone, unfortunately, for Darcy Boynton and Shez the Prez as well, and the crew down there at Pulteney.
Off to Div 5. Let's have a look at round 15, mate, and we'll start with what's probably game of the round, this one here. Hope Valley got to bounce back. They currently sit in 5th place, hosting top place Heckies.
Heckies?
Yep, Heckies should win quite well. Need to be a bit more accurate than 10-24. Again, steal another away from home win, and it's good form going into finals. Colonel Light Gardens host Scotch. They'd be praying that the home ground advantage means something, but I don't think they'll quite have the class to match Scotch. Yeah,
very tough place to play, Colonel Light. Played there a few times, but just looking at the ladder position and Scotch's offence going forward, it's going to be tough for Colonel Light to keep out Scotch and them firing a lot of shots on goal.
I think I've been to all 70 clubs. It's the only club I ever got lost going to, like completely lost. So. Obviously, I'm pretty old. Google Maps wasn't my friend. Sent me to Edwardstown, then it sent me to Flinders Uni. And
Crocky.
Not a good day. Still kicked 3 though. Got there in the first quarter. Mitcham and Jeps Cross.
If Jeps Cross want to take destiny out of others' hands, they go to Mitcham and get a win, and I think they can do that. Mitcham haven't been in great form.
I'll take Mitcham, just being that it's at home. Either team could win this, though.
Yep.
Morphies and Marion, we've talked about it a little bit. This is going to be a good one. Morphies, for a team that's sitting 7th, have shown some really good form. But
Is it at the pasty?
it is at the Pasty, Norsey Pasty. Where they do kick some pretty miraculous goals out there too. But Marion, all to play for, they've finally crept their way up from 9th to 3rd. They won't want to surrender that.
They'd be very disappointed if they drop this one, put it that way. I think Sean Bazant, he marshals those troops. He's a very tough customer. He'll be making sure that they're ready to go, and I think that they'll make it 4 in a row.
And the purple and white dynamite of CBC are the Dolphins.
Yes?
Host Pulteney, and they will be stung by last week's result, and they'll win and win well.
Yes, I think they will. Yep, CBC for me.
Jackie boy, that has been Division 4. Next time we see you, we're talking the F word.
Oh, yeah.
Final.
Yes, we are. Can't
Always
wait.
exciting times. Thanks for being on the show, for everything you've done today. Thanks for your Division 4 report. And just want to own it. I love to celebrate the success. Own the phase. This is the one division where we really didn't quite nail our pre-season tips. So
I tipped Marion to make the grand final.
So did I.
Yes.
Well, you get 1 out of 2. That's something, I guess. But I had Jeps and Morphies in my 5. I own that. Got it wrong. So
Good,
yeah.
makes for good content, Tommy.
Yeah.
People can take the piss out of us.
Yeah, and they do. PI55, I think we call it. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in finals time with more Division 4. It's time for our Farmers League Coach of the Week. It comes from Jack Bamwell's Division 4 and from the Hectorville Hounds, it's Phil Nagel. Some of Phil's attributes are, well, he's a detective in real life, so he's a great analyst, able to read situations with strong discipline and structures. He's very professional and a super leader for the young talent at the Hounds. He's a very worthy recipient, coming off a 50-point win away from home in winter as well, no less, to keep Hectorville on top and currently premiership favourites in Division 4. Congratulations, Phil Nagel. You're our Farmers League Coach of the Week.
Hey guys, it's Tegan and welcome back to the Women's Division 1 BTR Excavations Round 14 recap. First game up is Tea Tree Gully vs Broadview. Now Tea Tree Gully won, but only by 5 points, which is an interesting score seeing they are sitting top of the ladder, Broadview sitting second. So a really interesting game. End score was 43-38. Tea Tree goal scorers were Taylor Pearson with 2, who was their star forward, bringing her season total to 17. Leela Steen with 2, Laura Mitchell, Isla Wigzell with 1 each as well. Best on for them went to Katie Gold. For Broadview, their forwards were as accurate as ever, kicking 6 goals too. Latonya Cockatoo-Motlap was their best on, as well as kicking 2 for Broadview, who had an absolutely amazing game. Elise Doyle, Kellis Jackson-Martin, Lucy Redaway, Shannon Thompson, all kicking 1 each. Now, Broadview have such a diverse range of forwards that makes them as dangerous as ever. What a close game and a great performance from Broadview, coming so close to beating a team that hasn't lost since round 4. So an amazing effort by Broadies. Both teams will be in finals, so they may face off again. Tea Tree Gully guaranteed sitting top, so they will have the double chance as well. But first, Broadview do not get a week off. They have an extra round, so Broadview and Goodwood face off next week, while all other teams do have the bye. Next match up is Anglevale vs Morphees. These two teams have been the underdogs this season, defeating some of the best teams in the comp. Both teams, unfortunately, will be unable to make finals, but Anglevale ended up with a win 40-25. Anglevale goal scorers were Brooklyn McKeeve with 2, Rasheen Blumpson, Tamara Clapton, Jade Pryor, Michaela Wagner, all with 1 each. With the goal scorers from Anglevale, a team that has come up from Division 2, so first season so far in Division 1 after a while. Tamara Clapton, absolute standout forward, kicking 27 goals across the season. Coming up to Division 1, playing this well and kicking this many, averaging nearly 2 goals a game, is a terrific effort, and she is a must-watch player in the next coming seasons. The best on for Anglevale went to Abby Shear, who also had a great game, and for Morphees, goal scorers went to Captain Lindsay Bigg, Chloe Harding, Tasman Norris, all with 1 each, with the best on going to Chantel Ross. Next up, we watch Payneham vs Henley. Now, interesting game. Payneham sitting 4th, Henley sitting 3rd. Payneham did come away with a win, 77-43. Henley were unable to secure the win, their last half letting them down, as Payneham just played their game all 4 quarters and ultimately won it. Goal scorers for Payneham went to Captain Kyrie Jeffries with 3, Kaylee Kombog-Ware with 2, with a stellar performance securing her best on for the game, dominating in every aspect across the oval. Amazing ball knowledge and ball skills, which secured her the best on for the game. Back to goal scorers, we have Arini Geikus with 2, Chantel Mitchell also with 2, followed by Chloe Pedersen, Chloe Samuel with 1 each. Another team with just an absolutely diverse range of forward stars, not relying on too many key forwards as they're able to share it around. For Henley, goal scorers were Tegan Dunbar with 3, Eliza Cooper, Lucy Farnsworth and Lucy Farmer, all with 1 each. Best on for Henley was Lara Shahadi, who dominated, playing majority of the game, marking balls left and right all across the ground. Now, these two teams may face off in coming weeks of finals. We will see if the scoreboard ends up differently if they face off again. Lastly, we saw Goodwood versus Happy Valley, and unfortunately for Goodwood, they couldn't come away with a win, but they still do have next week to secure a win under their belt as they face Broadview. Happy Valley this week won 42-23. Happy Valley goal scorers went to Georgia Hooper with 2, Jodie Hunt, Chelsea Kennedy, Alana Rochow, Layla Rogers, all with 1 each. Best on going to Georgia Hooper after an absolutely terrific performance. For Goodwood, best on went to Molly Peterson. Goal scorers were Zora Bowers, Georgia Emmis, Madison Telford with 1 each. Unfortunately for both teams, they will not make it into finals this year, but always next season, then come out better as ever. That's all for the BTR Excavations Division 1 Women's Wrap. We'll see you guys most likely for finals, and we'll see if teams get knocked out and who it is. But very interesting, and a change to the season in the last few rounds with some underdogs coming up and ending in finals. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Welcome back to What Caught Our Eye in the remaining women's divisions. In the Division 1 reserves, we saw an interesting game of Broadview versus Tea Tree Gully. Now, Broadview are sitting first and Tea Tree Gully are sitting in 3rd place. So, 2 possible matchups for finals. We'll have to wait and see. But Broadview, an amazing game by Imogen Miles, who won their best on, and Kato Day kicking 3 goals once again for Broadies. In Division 2, we saw interesting games. One thing I want to mention is the amount of points scored. Now, the reason for that, Hectorville and Brighton Bombers are both sitting. Hectorville sitting in top spot and Brighton Bombers are sitting in second. The only thing that was changed them is the percentage. Now, I said in the last few weeks that Brighton need to get their percentage up and be extremely accurate on goals, and they listened, kicking 10 goals, 1, which is an amazing effort, boosting their percentage to 61.04. Hectorville, on the other hand, kicking 9 goals, 10, but unfortunately their percentage was just too high, sitting their percentage on 73, leaving them in the top spot. Brighton was so accurate, but more so Hannah Wallet with 5 goals for the game, which is a great effort by her. In the Division 2 reserves, we saw a couple of interesting games that I would love to talk about. First up was Hectorville versus Hope Valley. Now, Hectorville sitting 3rd and Hope Valley sitting 5th. Came away with a draw, 27-27, 4 goals, 3 each. Now, Hectorville will be in finals. Unfortunately for Hope Valley, they will not be. But a great game and an interesting turnout. Hopefully, Hectorville can focus in and come away with a win when they play next. Another interesting game was the 2nd versus 4th, Port District versus Smosh. Smosh sitting in 4th and Port District sitting in 2nd place. An absolutely amazing win by Port Districts, winning 86-0. Port Districts were locked in this game and came away with a win, and Amanda Pittaway won the best on, as well as kicking 5. So some great goal scorers this round. In the Division 3, we saw some interesting games. Now, in the finals, we have got the finals, so it will be Mitcham versus Glenunga and Lockleys versus Westminster. Mitcham, Glenunga, and Westminster all came away with a win. However, Lockleys did not. Lockleys were defeated by Modbury, who are sitting bottom of the ladder. They came in underestimating the team, but ultimately Modbury came on top, really shaking Lockleys' confidence going into finals, but also lighting a fire under their belt to try and win it in finals. Be very interesting to see Mitcham versus Glenunga face off once again. Last time they faced off was in round 12, and Mitcham came away with an 8-point win, 13-5. So a very close game between these two teams. So we'll see if the score changes when they face off in the next coming weeks. In Division 4, we see Plympton finish all the minor rounds sitting undefeated. Now, they didn't play this week, but Adelaide University, who they will be facing in finals, did play, and they played Pulteney, securing the win 42-16. Salisbury North will be playing Marion as well in the finals, and all the finals teams did have a winning streak this week. None of them played against each other. However, Marion won by 23 points against Sedum Ramblers, and Salisbury won against Loretto by 13 points. Now, Adelaide University, we've talked about it before. Georgia Taylor has come away with another 3 goals this week, bringing her season total to 25 across just 10 games. Averaging 2.5 goals a game is a great effort by her, and once again, Adelaide University just had the best forwards in the competition, along with Salisbury North. Now, in Division 5, for the finals, next week is St. Peter's versus Walkerville and Edwardstown versus Howden Districts. One thing that is really important to mention is St. Peter's are sitting top, and they've only had 2 losses this season, but both of those losses are attributed to Walkerville winning. So it'll be very interesting to see if St. Peter's can finally defeat Walkerville in the finals next week. One thing that is bringing St. Peter's down a bit is their accuracy. This week against Howden Districts, they won by 26 points, but they kicked 3 goals, 10. So it could have been definitely a bit of a bigger margin if they were a little bit more accurate in front of the goals. Regardless, they are sitting with a percentage of 76.33. Now, in Division 6, obviously, we have to check up on the forward of the century, Susan Mount Stephen, who kicked, you guessed it, probably didn't, 8 goals this game against Salisbury North. West Croydon came away with a win 74-9, kicking 11 goals, 8. So Susan kicking 8 out of the 11 goals, which is such a great effort by her, bringing her season total to 58 goals across 14 games, averaging 4 goals a game. Now, she is an absolute weapon for West Croydon, and coming into finals, they face off against Lockleys in the first round of finals. And if I was Lockleys, I would find someone to try and shut her down, because she is just on an absolute streak in the last couple of rounds. Their opposition, Lockleys, they have been on it as well. This week, they won 89-0 against Edwardstown, kicking 13-11. Not overly accurate, but still an absolutely amazing win. Both of the teams, Lockleys and West Croydon, going into finals with the utmost confidence. When it comes to the grand final, I would love to see West Croydon versus Ingle Farm. Ingle Farm, last time they played, was in round 11, and Ingle Farm did win by 6 points. It was a very low scoring game. I believe that's a week where it was windy and raining and the weather was not all sunshine and rainbows, but Ingle Farm won 9-3 against West Croydon. So this is definitely a game we would love to see again, but we'll have to wait until next week until we see the first round of finals. Good luck to all the teams coming off and facing each other in finals. Bad luck and good luck to next season for the teams who didn't quite make it. But I'll see you guys next week to recap the first round of the finals.
Oh, Jackie boy, it's been a massive show. I know you're keen to get out of here. But 4 weeks to go in the season for men, and the women's divisions, apart from Division 1, pretty much have all finished now. So it's a very exciting time of the year.
Yeah, we looked at Division 1 today. We looked at Division 4. Things are heating up in both of those competitions, and the rest of the other divisions as well in the men's side. Obviously, the women's is just about done.
Must be time for some Div 5 next week. Is your mate actually going to show up?
Oh, I hope so. Jeez, he's got to pull his finger out and give you the hot tip.
Yes. All right, mate. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks to all our wonderful sponsors. Spring is coming, so time to unleash those arches.
Thanks to the Settlers Tavern as well.
Settlers
Beautiful
Tavern.
coffee.
And how good is that playground? We'll have to shoot the stinger in there.
I'm going to go for a
Yeah,
slide
little
on the slippery
climb.
dip, I reckon,
It's
and
gotta be
climb on the jungle gym.
3
and,
stories
yeah.
high.
Yep.
The venue itself, I reckon this must seat about 200. The Settlers have outdone themselves. One of the absolute jewels of the north now. And as my daughter says, is that the pub with the camel? Because it's a Thirsty Camel bottle shop. But thanks for joining us on Between the Posts, Jack. Any final shout-outs?
No, let's get out of here.
All right.
See you next week.
For
Between the Posts.